I spent $32 today for groceries and daily essentials. This is my last grocery haul before payday. I am 23 years old, living alone in Tokyo. Right now, I survive only on my YouTube earnings and savings. Tokyo is a big, expensive city, and on a low income, every single coin counts, especially at the end of the month. But looking at these ingredients spread out on my table, I feel a strange sense of relief. It is enough to keep me going until the next income comes in. Let me show you what I bought today. These are the items I got at the drugstore. First is a $7 beauty supplement. I got this to supplement my skin, since my cheap meals will lack proper nutrition. Second is a $2.30 shaving gel. My budget is tight, but I can't skip this if I want to protect my skin from the razor. Third is a $4 six-pack of wet wipes. I need these because my chronic runny nose gets sore with regular tissues. The last item from the drugstore is a $2.10 flooring sheet pack. It's the cheapest and easiest way to keep my space livable. These drugstore items cost $15.40. Half of my $32 budget is gone, just to keep myself presentable before I even buy food. The remaining $16.60 was spent here at the supermarket. Let's see how much food this amount gets you in Tokyo. First is a $1.60 5-pack of instant ramen. It's cheap and lasts forever. Second is a $1.50 pack of kimchi. It works as a quick side dish anytime. Third is a 70-cent curry pouch. I just need to heat it up when I have zero energy to cook. Fourth is a 95-cent mentaiko pasta sauce pack. I just have to mix it with boiled noodles, no heating required. Fifth is a 65-cent 3-pack of yakisoba noodles. Sixth is a $4.90 1 kilogram pack of chicken breast. Seventh is a 65-cent instant shijimi miso soup pack with 8 servings. Eighth is a $1.15 4-bundle pack of some noodles. Ninth is a $1.40 bottle of mayonnaise. 10th is a $1.44 pack of pasta. It's one of the cheapest ways to get carbohydrates. Last is an 82-cent bunch of bananas. I grabbed them because they were inexplicably cheap. The total at the supermarket was $15.48. The total for everything came to $31.65. My budget is almost completely gone now. I'm going to use some of these ingredients to make a simple, cheap dinner. Tonight's dinner is going to be yakisoba. It's the easiest thing to make when I'm tired, and it fills me up quickly. These are the ingredients I'm going to use tonight. I'm using 2 packs of noodles tonight. I'm hungry, and I need the energy. I'm only using 1 flavor packet. I can adjust the taste with pepper and save the other one for another dish later. Warming up the noodles in the microwave makes them break apart easier. I just heat them for a random amount of time. Next is the chicken breast. I'm obviously not using all of it tonight, since this 1 pack will last me a week. It's heavy, but having this much meat gives me a strange sense of security. I'm just using this much for now. I'll wrap the rest and put it in the freezer. Knowing I have food stored away makes the low-income life a little easier to handle. There is still plenty left. I'll chop the meat into tiny pieces. It's a small trick to make the portion look bigger than it actually is. Time to start cooking. This quiet routine in the kitchen is my daily transition to my own time. First, the finely chopped chicken breast goes in. It's cheap, but it's a reliable source of protein. Seasoning it with a bit of salt and pepper. Opening the kimchi first. This brand uses 100% Japanese-grown Napa cabbage, even though it only costs $1.50. I found some frozen onions in my freezer. I'll toss these in too to add some extra volume. The meat and onions are getting a nice color, so it's time for the kimchi. The caramelized bits at the bottom of the pan are where all the flavor hides. In goes the noodles. Since they are already warm from the microwave, they absorb the kimchi juices perfectly without breaking. Adding a splash of water, the steam helps loosen the noodles without using too much oil. mixing it all together so the powder coats everything. And that's it for the main dish. This miso soup costs only 8 cents a serving. It's an incredibly cheap way to get a warm, comforting broth at the end of the day. A hot meal made from scratch for under $3. It's simple, but it feels like a rewarding ending to a long day. Starting with the miso soup. The warm broth instantly settles my empty stomach. Moving on to the yakisoba. Just the noodles first. The noodles are perfectly chewy and soaked up the flavor without being mushy. The savory sauce combined with the hint of pepper gives it a solid, comforting taste. The chicken absorbed the savory flavor of the sauce and the tangy spice from the kimchi. It's a messy mix, but it tastes incredibly good right now. This meal turned out much better than I expected. When you have a strict $32 budget, every small choice matters. Chopping the chicken tiny, finding leftover onions, and using only one flavor packet. These simple tricks turned a cheap meal into a satisfying dinner. Tokyo is an expensive city, but making something this comforting by myself gives me a quiet sense of confidence for the rest of the week. That's it for day 1. Now, let's see what I can make for tomorrow's lunch. Lunch today centers around this $1.60 instant ramen. Also using the chicken breast I froze last night and some green onions I had left over from before. Pulling out some rice and yesterday's kimchi from the fridge. With these, I can stretch this one packet of ramen into something much bigger. Filling the pot with water first. Next, the chicken breast. This is a bit too much for lunch, so I'll trim it down. Slicing it as thin as possible helps it cook faster. The rest goes right back into the freezer. Dropping the thin slices into the boiling water, they will cook through in no time. Tossing in the pre-chopped green onions. A bit of green makes any cheap meal feel more complete. Opening this 5-pack. This is basically my survival base for the next few days. It costs only 30 cents a serving, and surprisingly, it has 30% less carbohydrates. Just a block of dried noodles and a single soup packet. The simplicity is perfect. The chicken is cooked through, so the dried noodles go in next. The instructions say to add the powder at the end, but it's too much work. I'll just throw it in now. A 30% less carb lunch that costs next to nothing. Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. Ramen, rice, and kimchi. This whole setup costs less than $1, but it's the ultimate fuel for a lazy afternoon. Taking the first bite. Boiling the chicken in the broth beforehand actually gave it a deeper flavor. It tastes like a solid, satisfying meal. Adding some ichimi chili pepper. I prefer a bit more heat to kickstart the afternoon. The spicy powder clings right to the noodles. Every chew brings out the sweetness of the wheat against the sharp heat. Drinking the leftovers. The chicken broth mixed with the kimchi acidity has a really rich, satisfying depth. I just realized I can put the meat and kimchi on top of the rice to make a mini bowl. Adding a bit of salt and pepper. This will make the rice go down even faster. Putting the kimchi right on top. This naturally creates a completely new dish. The salt, pepper, and kimchi make the perfect combo for the rice. It's a very satisfying way to stretch a simple lunch. Time for the 80% less carb mayonnaise I bought yesterday. The creamy mayonnaise ties the kimchi and chicken together perfectly. It instantly turns a simple leftover meal into a rich junk food feast. Finished everything. That was incredibly filling for a $1 lunch. Now, time for the final dinner. Let's see what I have left to wrap this up. Time for dinner. I'm breaking into a fresh piece of chicken breast tonight. Tonight, I'm slow cooking the whole chicken breast. Putting the thawed chicken into a Ziploc bag. Adding some salt. Just a random amount. Adding a splash of water. I don't really know why, but I heard somewhere it helps. Placing it into the hot water now. 20 minutes have passed. It's still completely raw inside, so I'll heat it up again and give it more time. The rice is freshly cooked. That sweet aroma instantly fills the kitchen. And tonight, I'm adding the curry too. At 70 cents, it's not only cheap, but it's ready in just 2 minutes. When I want a quick meal without any effort, this is honestly a masterpiece. Transfer to a plate and heat in the microwave. I think it's finally cooked through this time. It feels right when I touch it. Slicing it up. Glad to see it's perfectly cooked inside this time. Shredding it by hand instead of slicing. It's a small trick to make the volume look way bigger. The rest goes into the fridge for later. Scooping out the rice. A fresh, warm base for the final night. Pouring the curry. Honestly, this simple smell is the most comforting thing after a long week. Topping it with the sliced chicken breast. This is the ultimate upgrade for a 70-cent curry. And that's it. Taking the first bite. The 70-cent curry pairs perfectly with the freshly cooked rice. Honestly, it's more than good enough. The chicken is surprisingly tender and goes perfectly with the curry. I'll keep managing within this budget for a few more days until payday. Looking back so far, by using small tricks like micromanaging the flavor packets and stretching out the ingredients, it's been surprisingly comfortable. This week reminded me that being creative can turn any set budget into a peaceful, deeply satisfying life. My ordinary daily life continues tomorrow. One quiet meal at a time. I know I can handle whatever comes next. If you enjoyed watching my quiet routine, please consider subscribing to the channel.